Hello friends, we are going to see how the particles are shared between the unit cell and how we can find out the number of particles per unit cell. Okay, so this is a unit cell in which the particles are occupied at the corner. That means each corner particles are shared between the different unit cells. So 1 by 8 the contribution will be coming in one unit cell. So if particle is occupied at the corner, the contribution is only by 1 by 8. In the case of face centered atom, the particle is occupied at the center of the face, which will be shared by two unit cells. So in one unit cell, the contribution is half atom of that unit particle. So in corner 1 by 8 and face center 1 by 2. Whereas in body centered atom, the particle is occupied at the center of the atom, center of the unit cell. So they are not going to share with any unit cells. So they will be completely contributing to that particular unit cell. In the case of edge centered atom, you can see if it is an what edge, that will be shared with the 4 unit cells. So see that 1 2 and the top 3 4. So the contribution is 1 by 4th itself to a unit cell. So these are the different contribution of the particles if it is occupied in corner, face or edge center. Now we are going to find out how the particles per unit cell we can see. In the case of simple cubic unit cell or primitive cubic unit cell, means already you know the particles are occupied only at the corners. So the contribution means I told you every corner they are having 1 by 8 contribution. So we are having totally 8 corners, 2 4 6 8. So 8 into 1 by 8 is the total contribution. That means the total number of atoms per unit cell will be 8 into 1 by 8, that is equal to 1 will be the number of particles per unit cell in a simple cubic or primitive cubic unit cell. Whereas if we are coming to the next case, like so that is the simple cubic unit cell contain one atom. In the case of next case, we will see in the body centered cubic unit cell, the particles, you know that particles are occupied not only at the corners but also at the center of the body. This is the body centered cubic unit cell. So 8 atoms at each corner positions, so and 1 atom at the body center. Already we are found that at the corners you are having 8 into 1 by 8 contribution and complete contribution from the center of the body. So total contribution is 8 into 1 by 8 plus 1. So 1 plus 1 become 2 is the total number of atoms per unit cell in a body centered cubic unit cell. So this is the number of atoms per unit cell if it is a body centered cubic unit cell. So primitive is 1 and in the body centered it is 2 is the total number of atoms per unit cell. Now we are moving to the third one. Before that is a calculation actually. 8 into 1 by 8 equal to 1 atom and 1 at the body center. Total will be 1 plus 1, that is equal to 2. Okay, so that is the number of atoms per unit cell of body centered cubic unit cell. Now we are moving to third particle or third type of crystal, what we are calling as face centered cubic unit cell. In face centered cubic unit cell, you know the particles are occupied at all the corners and each face centers. So corner contribution already you know 8 corners, so 8 into 1 by 8 contribution, and face already I told you starting time, that is 1 particles are shared with the 2 unit cells, so the contribution will be 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 into how many faces? We are having 6 faces. So 6 into 1 by 2 plus 1 by 8 into 8. So corner contribution 1 by 8 into 8 become 1. Then we are having 6 faces. So 1 by 2 into 6 is equal to 3. So the total contribution is 1 plus 6 into 1 by 2 is equal to 3, that is equal to 3 plus 1 equal to 4. So this is a 3 from face center, 1 from body center, corners. So total become 1 plus 3 is equal to 4 is the number of particles per unit cell of a face-centered unit cell. So this is the way of finding out number of particles per unit cell in simple cubic, body-centered cubic and face-centered cubic of a unit cell. So this way we are facing some numericals also and finding out numerical or the formulas also. So this is the basic thing you want to remember. So these are all the points you have to remember. That is the main content of this subsection. Thank you.